think this is it. Need to adjust the camera very quickly. I did actually before the stream, but sometimes this just does what it does. Okay. Just trying to adjust the camera. I think this is better. Aha. So, let's confirm the audio before we get started. Very quickly, just going to confirm the audio before we get started. So just to ensure we all can hear me. So let me know in the comment section if you can hear me clearly. Okay. So good evening everyone. It's great to have you all on board. It's another time with Tutor.io, the enthusiastic tutor, and in today's tutorial, it happens to be the continuation of the class MAC221, and according to the thumbnail, we are taking the history of graphics. In our last class, these are our very second class. So we had our last class that should be on Wednesday, and proves to be interesting, and I got the comments. So today we're going to be commenting, we're going to be taking our bearing from the history of graphics. Now for those of us who are new to the stream, our exams are fast approaching, like we all know already, and you want to subscribe to this channel because we have classes regularly. Like literally we have classes like 5 days in a week, basically just Saturday and Sunday, and sometimes we have our Telegram classes weekends and we get to still upload them, all right, but Sundays, except on rare cases, maybe when you're having revision, you're having exams, and you have an exam on Monday, so you have to do the revision class on Sunday, except for that. So you want to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell so you get notified by YouTube whenever we're having our live classes or we upload any video. And also you want to join the private class. Very important, you need to be a member of the private class. This is where we walk you through all your courses without leaving anyone untouched. In the private class, basically you are my priority. Your messages, I respond to it ASAP. Your requests are being addressed within few minutes. So to become a member of the private class, it's not just the classes only, more like a mentoring and a guiding through your, through as long as you want to be with us, through all your your program in the National University of Nigeria or in any other citadel of learning institution in Nigeria. We're always there to guide you. So how do you become a member? All you need to do is just head straight to our official website, which is www.tutorial.net. In the top right hand corner, you find the WhatsApp button. Use it to send us a direct message. It takes you directly to my DM. You make your inquiries and how do you become a member. We'll guide you through it in a few minutes, and you can get access to all the repository, your past classes, your keynote, your exam practice questions and answers. And also, now for the preparation of the exam for this particular course, there's this thing we call the exam keynote. They are highly effective and essential. Although we are not giving them out now because we are still working on publishing the exam practice questions of this course and other courses before we start giving out the keynote. These are all the things, all the benefits you get basically in the private class. And even though you're not a member of private class, you still get some of its benefits, but it's at a higher rate compared to you being a member of private class. So with this being said, you want to reach out to us on our official website for more inquiries on www.tutorial.net, and you send us a message through the WhatsApp button you find in the top hand corner. Now let's get straight into today's class. I believe you are with your writing materials because you are expected to take notes as we go through this together in tonight's class. Okay, so just to confirm the audio once again to be sure we all can hear me clearly. I think this camera is not centralized. Just confirm the audio very quickly. Oh, wonderful. The audio is perfect. Now, like I said, we're going to be taking our bearing from the history of graphics. It's a very interesting one because this particular topic speaks reality. Okay, we use graphics every now and then. The thumbnail we're designing this class, the thumbnail for the classes, and some graphics design. Every blessed day you come across different sort of graphics on the billboard, on the flyer, on your phone, all right, on your TV. A whole lot of graphics fly around these days. So you want to know the history of graphics and how it came into being. And that's what we'll be discussing in today's class. All right, so we have history of graphics. All right, history of graphics. Now we'll talk about graphics. Now you need to understand, speaking of history of graphics, you need to bear in mind, all right, that some of the earliest graphics, all right, and drawings known to the modern, some of the earliest graphics and drawings known to the modern world today are from about 6,000 years ago. All right, dates back to 6,000 years ago. Some of the modern graphics you know today, some of the modern graphics you have used or come across, all right, today, date back to about 6,000 years ago. All right. Now, these graphics that dates back to about 6,000 years ago are that of engraved stones. All right, what we know as engraved stone tablets and ceramic cylinder seals. This is what graphics looks like about 6,000 years ago. It was, all right, graphics was engraved stone tablet and engraved stone tablets, all right. Graphics was also ceramic cylinder seals. Ceramic cylinder seals. All right. So the graphics we all can, all right, use, manipulate on different applications, all right, adjust, take away, add, make our repurpose them to make them serve our purposes. About 6,000 years ago was nothing, all right, more or less of what we know as engraved stone tablets. Some of us are lovers of movies, all right. Some of us who do watch movies, all right, talking about this engraved stone tablet, especially to the genesis of science, all right. You know, there's this argument that is on about science emanated, all right. The origin of science is actually from Africa, all right. Putting into consideration a whole lot of scientific achievement that happened in different parts of Africa. All right, a case study of Egypt, for example, a whole lot of scientific experiments and achievements and a whole lot scientifically happened in that part of the world. Okay, so if you are this type that watches documentary a lot, you must have seen, all right, what these engraved stone tablets look like, all right, when you come across documentaries that are short or documentaries about Egypt, their way of life, how they communicate, their stones or tablets, and how these stones or tablets carry important messages that are, all right, only decoded by who can, all right, by those that have encoded these messages or people that the messages are meant for. All right, and we also have the likes of ceramic cylinder seals. All right, all these things is what graphics dates back to. This is the etymology, the genesis of what we now see as modern graphics. All right, so record from Egypt, as we have it here, it says record from Egypt predates these and what we know as papyrus. All right, papyrus. All right, papyrus was used by Egyptian. Now the case study being used here now are still the Egyptians using of papyrus as a material on which plan the building of ceramics. All right, this papyrus now is used as a material. All right, a material on which a material on which the material, let's just put it this way, the material used in planning the construction of the pyramids. All right, and when we talk about the pyramid, these are some very vital historical events, scientific achievements that happened in Egypt. All right, this is a world monumental achievement on the soil of Egypt, and this great achievement, all right, speaking of graphics, back in those days, so graphics has been existing for as long as this period. All right, and basically, when we talk about graphics, is basically, now when we say graphics, basically the layman, in a layman understanding, has to do with what you can see, the manipulations of lines and curves. And definitely when it comes to building, when it comes to erecting a gigantic structure or structures that will stand the test of time and with certain details, definitely there should be a plan, like an archaeological plan. All right, even definitely these days in modern time, you want to go into a building project or you want to go into a project, even in the computer programming as well, you want to build a website, you want to have a app, there's this thing called the flow chart. All right, you want to use your flow chart starting from the very first access point. I'm building a website now, which will be my home page, which will be my sales page, which will be my contact us page. All those details, you can imagine how you want to build a house. Definitely you have the front door, you have the escape door, you have your sitting room. Now all these things needs a plan. All right, and graphics makes it possible for you to have all these plans, all these drawing put in place. And this dates back to the time of the Egyptians using what we know as papyrus. Now this papyrus, there's a detail on it here. We have a detail about it here. This papyrus is said to be a material prepared in ancient Egypt. Now this papyrus is actually extracted from a particular plant. All right, this material is prepared in ancient Egypt from the what? Pity. All right, from the pity. Okay, from the pity stem. Now this is the plant I'm talking to you about, from the pity stem. So now this stem is extracted and dried, and it can accommodate certain writings from the pity stem. All right, which is of a water plant used in sheets. All right, there were no sheet papers then. Don't forget, it was actually introduced in China. Paper was introduced in China. All right, but then there was nothing like paper. So this papyrus is what is used to contain certain drawings and graphics. So we have that as that. So they also use what we know as slabs of limestones and wood as well. So we also have slabs, all right, slabs of limestone. It's a kind of stone, slabs of limestone and wood also. So these are all the things that enabled, these are all the things that made possible, all right, the genesis of graphics back, all right, dating back to 6,000 years ago. So from about 600 to 250 BC, and when we say BC, please, as you join the stream, do all to say hi, do all to say hello. Let's know where you are streaming from. Use the comment section to say hi. And if you have not clicked on the like button, please do what to do that as well. And also ensure to subscribe to the channel. Very, very important. Now, just like I said, about 600 to 250 BC, when we say BC, we are talking about the time before Christ. The Greeks also played a major role in geometry. All right, please take note of all these points. It's very important. You know how CBT exams are being structured. They are way different from the POP, whereby you get the opportunity to express yourself. All these bullet points, although you'll be getting the keynote, so even though you miss anything, you find it in the keynotes once you have the keynotes. So from about 600 to 250 BC, the Greek also played a major role in geometry. All right, don't forget geometry too has to do with a lot of drawings and curves and sketches as well. Now they use graphics to represent their mathematical theories, such as circle theorem and Pythagorean theorem. All right, just like I said, all this requires sketches, drawing, curves, the manipulations of line as well. So just going to erase the board so we can accommodate more points. Please, for those of us who are just joining, please let's ensure to say hello whenever you're watching this stream, irrespective of the time difference. Ensure to say hi, hello. Use the comment section to let us know where you're watching from. So we have that as that. It says here, in recent time, fast forward to the contemporary era. All right, fast forward to now. In recent time, computers have been made more powerful and now capable of drawing both basics and complex shapes and design. So all this stress of getting papyrus, all the stress of using stones, wood, limestones, and the likes, all this has become the thing of the past. Now this can be easily achieved using a computer with little or no stress. All right. Now in the 1980s, artists and graphic designers began to see the personal computer as a serious design tool. All right, so when we talk about the tool for graphic design now, the computer is very essential. So the computer has been acknowledged since the 1980s. All right, artists and graphic designers, all right, they are beginning to see the computer. They are beginning to see the computer as a very useful, as a very effective tool when it comes to graphics designing. Okay, very serious design tool, one that could save time and draw more accurately than other methods. Okay, so we have that as that. So with that being said, we want to consider the basic types of graphics. Okay, we want to consider the basic types of graphics. But just before we talk about that, now You can imagine it took the graphics designers and the artists to recognize the effectiveness of the computer when it comes to graphics designing. All right, this is as a result of some produce, some software, some applications that can enable this drawing, that can enable this graphics editing and graphics creation. All right, the likes of the 3D computer graphics, all right, became possible about in the 1980s. This same 1980s, there it was introduced the 3D, all right, computer graphics that uses what we call SDI, all right. I beg your pardon, that's SGI, all right. That is the Silicon Graphics International. This made the graphics world a total upgrade. But with that being said, let's move straight to the types. Okay, the types of graphics. Now, there are two main types of graphics, and they are namely, all right, two types of graphics, namely the vector graphics and bitmaps. The vector graphics and bitmaps. These are the two major types of graphics. You want to pay attention to that, please. Okay, the vector graphics and the bitmaps. Now, let's take it one step at a time. When we talk about the vector graphics, all right, these are those kind of graphics which can be created straight away, all right, on a computer without engaging a third-party system or facilitator. They are easy to make graphics that you can make without getting a software or without attaching. And you know, when we say external party now, for some animators, all right, or some artists, there is this thing that looks like a tab, all right. There's this thing that looks like a very big tab with a pencil or with a biro or with a pen. Let's just say with a pen. So with that tab, whatever you draw, whatever you write, reflects on the screen of your computer automatically. Now, those kind of third-party system or those kind of third-party equipment enables graphics, all right? It enables graphics, it takes graphics design to a whole new level. Using such devices, the result you are going to get, it will not be the same one, that it will not be as compared to the ones that you can just automatically do on your computer. So when we say these vector graphics now, they are just graphics that, like, let's say for example, like the one we use in designing the thumbnail of our classes, all right, it's just there on Canva. We don't need to get an external device or something somewhat to connect to the computer to produce such. Those ones are straightforward, and with the help of a single button, we can do the manipulation. All right. So this, and when I say, please don't get me wrong, I mean editing, adjusting. All right. So when we talk about the vector graphics, these are the kind of graphics which can be created straight away on the computer. All right, without the need of an external third party, or without need of a third party system or facilitator. These are generally referred to as graphic primitives, right? So vector graphics are also referred to as graphic primitives. I don't know why the word primitive was introduced, but from the looks of things, when you say primitive, that means there's a lot to achieve, all right, than just basic graphics with vector graphics. All right, the creation of graphics has gone beyond just vector graphics, And that's why it's kind of called primitive, because it's a kind of limited graphics production. All right. So now we move to the next one, which is the bitmaps. Now these bitmaps are also known as the rasterized image. All right, rasterized image or images. Now, as a technical person and engineers, all right, they prefer to call them rasterized instead of the bitmap. All right. Now, this kind of graphics, all right, cannot be used without, okay, it cannot be imputed into the system without the use of an application independent of your computer. So it's just upward and opposite. The opposite of vector. Vector does not need, bitmaps requires a third party. Okay. Now, photographs is the typical example of bitmap graphics. Other examples are scanned images, definitely. Your computer cannot scan a document. You need a scanner connected to your computer to do that. All right. Also, if you want some quality editing, you need to take your phone or your camera, take the photograph, then connect it back to your computer and process your editing. So your camera is one getting you the quality image. Your scanner is one getting you the scanned document. Then your computer take it up from there. All right. So we have that as that. So let's consider some bits requires a third party. Let's just put it as requires a third party. Now, there's something I want us to pay attention to very quickly. Okay, here it says bitmap file formats. Okay, there are different formats. Now that we understand that bitmap requires an independent party, all right, so there are different types of format that bitmap comes in. So we have the JPEG, very common. JPEG. I do prefer this JPEG a lot because you get good quality image at a low size. All right. PNG, we also have PNG, but basically PNG, you also get a good quality image, but PNG now will consume more space. Let's say, for example, for somebody like us that we run our website, we use images on our website, we'd rather go for PNG because, let's say, for example, you want an image of tutorial, the same image, but if you download that kind of, start doing the graphics and everything with PNG can give you one MB, all right, but the same image when converted to JPEG will give you something less than 1 MB for the same quality. So I mean, which one do you want to go for? You are saving space, consuming less space, and you're still getting the good quality. All right. Although some persons may say that the PNG quality is better. Now the thing is that same quality, but the thing is that when it comes to sharing, all right, some will argue that PNG is better. But when it comes to uploading, let's say PNG, in the sense that you want to print out maybe on flyers and lines, is better. But when it comes to sharing on devices, then JPEG is still the best. Right? But what you need to note is that all these PNG, JPEG, all of them have their different features and characteristics and why we have them definitely. But for JPEG, the full meaning of JPEG, we have the Joint Photography Expert Group. That's JPEG. JPEG is a standard format for image compression. All right, it is a standard format for image compression. Okay, image compression developed by the Joint Graphic Expert Group. All right, in the United States. So because of its high-end, all right, because of its high-end and highly effective compression system, it is used across several platforms of graphics, web, and image processing applications. Like I said, definitely everybody wants something that is okay and will not consume too much space. So we have that as that. So we also have the TIFF, that's TIFF. Now, TIFF in full is tagged image file format. Tagged image file format. Now, the tagged image file format also have good compression ratio, but probably not up to JPEG. Okay, so we also have the PSD. PSD. Now, this PSD in full means Photoshop documents. Every designer using aboard Photoshop, all right, definitely for our graphics, must have used what we call PSD file formats. Okay, now the Photoshop is an image editing application that is popularly, all right, that is popular with graphic designers. That's most graphic designer first choice. All right, although we have the likes of Canva. Canva does a lot too. All right, but Photoshop has been, and a whole lot of designers, gurus, let me say gurus, uses Photoshop a lot. All right, like someone will say it has more features and is more efficient and effective. So the PSD file now is the about Photoshop default file saving format. What are we saying in essence? When you finish a project, and when we say a project, like you upload a picture or an image on about Photoshop and you've done all your editing and so on, you are done. The moment you click on save, it's automatically saved in a file format known as PDS. You can now choose to change it or convert it to something else at your own leisure time. But that software, and you do any project, it automatically saves as PSD. So we also have MPEG and PDF. So PDF in full is called the portable document format. PDF is best when it comes to if you want to print out images, is the best. Like if you are done doing anything you want to do on your software, if you want to download and go and print out, it is best at PDF. Alright, PDF might consume some space, but at least that quality of printing is different from quality of being on your phone, on your computer, on your screen. So we have that as that. So I'm going to call it wrap here for today, and from our next class, we're going to talk about animation. All right. So thank you very much, everyone. I believe you have been able to gain something into this class. For those of us who are new to the stream, like I said, don't forget to join our private class where we walk you through everything you need to know, and also do well to keep your notes up to date. Don't miss the next class. I look forward to your subsequent tutorial. Bye for now.